Hi everyone, this is Nerd Talk, and today we're talking about this book, Natural Capitalism. This book was published in 1999. It is written by Paul Hawken, Emery Levins, and Hunter Levins. Today our hosts are...
I'm Tyler Keith-Pedersen. I'm majoring in New Media and Design.
I'm Chantel Johnson. I'm majoring in International and Global Affairs and Development.
And I'm Nida Najar. I'm majoring in Nutrition. This book talks about how capitalism and waste are handled, how to save the environment, what are we going to face if we continued with our traditional industrial systems, and it is calling for making a new industrial revolution. Here, Chantel, after reading this book, how do you think this book is clashing or going with your point of view about handling waste in the world?
I actually agree with a lot of the points in the book because it speaks about making society more sustainable, but at making a profit as well. So I agree with the book. A lot of the different ways to be more sustainable I never thought about, and I actually agree with a lot of them.
I do agree with a lot of ideas in the book. I felt like if I was an engineer, I might adopt a lot of ideas. But we're still surprised that until now, when was this book published?
1999.
Yes.
Yes, and we're still not having any of these ideas.
Yeah, a lot of these ideas in the book were supposed to happen by 2012, 2014, this year. But as you can see, we're not seeing a lot of these ideas, and that goes to really the play on just a public worldview of being sustainable, which is not really a concern for public, and I think that's a problem that the book does not address. It does not address how to get people involved. It just addresses what we can do to be more sustainable, but not how can we implement and get people on board on being more sustainable.
Yes, true. I mean, a lot of times when we have the problem, we ask people to give us solutions. And when there's a solution, we ask people, how do we do the solution? Because still, this book is considered a solution. I mean, it's a really good solution, but weird that nothing, I'm not going to say nothing, because there might be some initiatives, but still there's a lot of ideas that haven't been implemented. And about connecting this, do you think this book really helps in what you have learned in sustainable development honor course?
It definitely has. It has, like, we talk a lot in generalities when we're looking at our videos and researching for the discussions, but this goes very, very in depth about many different aspects, and pretty much anything I had a question about was gone over in the book.
Yes, awesome. So go ahead.
I was just going to say that with this book, it helped, like, taking the honors class, sustainable honors class, and reading this book, it kind of came hand in hand, because in the class we learned about these different issues and what needs to be done. And in this book, we learn about what we can use and do in order to solve those issues that we're learning about in class.
Yes, that's really good. And actually, I liked how the author collected all the ideas from worldwide. I feel like from every country he brought something new. He covered most of the issues, let's say agriculture issues and manufacturing issues. A lot of issues that could be. I mean, if anyone wants to, let's say if I'm majoring in nutrition and I want to do something in this world, I would go to nutrition to where he's helping the agriculture part and maybe take some ideas. What do you think about the ideas of the book and the examples?
Well, like you were saying, I agree with most points it was making. One problem I did have with it was the transition into a service flow economy, which essentially is, instead of buying things from manufacturers for ownership, you would rent or lease them from the manufacturers. The manufacturers would keep ownership of the item. And what that wants to do is, like, instead of buying something that would break in 2 years, which is what a lot of things are currently made to do, looking at you, Apple, it would, since the company would still own it, they would want to keep it working, so they would save money and not have to repair it. But the main problem I would have with this is just another monthly fee that many people would have to pay for. And for many low-income families, if, for example, they're not able to make a payment, the companies would have the full legal ability to go in and take everything that family has just because they weren't able to make a small payment at the end of the month. Other than that, I think everything in the book is very well.
So you're saying that because they will need to pay every month, it will be difficult for low-income families to provide this monthly payment.
It would just make higher bills.
Yes.
Instead of them being able to save up and like buy a refrigerator. It would just be another thing they have to worry about at the end of the month.
And this is true. Okay, Taylor, how do you think this book challenged your ideas? And what are the examples that you considered most important in the book?
Well, most of the things that challenged my idea was just like the realization on how badly we're achieving these green goals. Because a lot of times I had the mindset, like, oh, everything isn't super green, but it's getting there. Mm-hmm. Like there are a few more electric cars on the road, there are more hybrids. And then I'm reading about this one section where it would be cheaper and safer and would save tons on gas prices if we made cars out of like carbon fiber composite shells instead of steel, because it's much lighter, it isn't made out of heavy metal, and since it's all one thing, and since it's lighter, it absorbs blows much better. And so I'm reading this, I'm seeing there's literally no place where there's anything bad. I'm like, why aren't we doing this right now? So it's just kind of baffling to me that even though we have the solution, we're just not implementing it.
That's really true. One of the problems that I have with this book, actually I agree with most of the examples. I think it's a bit optimistic since we're not seeing a lot of the ideas achieved. But my only problem is the length of the book. I think that if we want high school students or students that are in school to read this book, it should be maybe in list chapters or divided.
Like a series of books based on the different like topics.
Yeah, I guess that would really make people maybe want to read this book, seeing it's not that big. But I think having it all the ideas, maybe even we can divide into chapters. It's already like agriculture chapter for people who are interested in this topic, engineering people are interested in this topic. But having it all together, I think this is also a good idea. What are the issues that you find while reading this book?
I don't know, I like how the book is set up and how each chapter has a subsection. One thing I don't like about it is a lot of the points are redundant, and I feel that kind of loses, that causes interest to be lost, and with the loss of interest, you're not getting full understanding of what's going on. So I feel that that the authors, they should have made their point, they gave examples and information about it, and then moved on and just let it be, because it is just really redundant at some times, and that caused me personally just to be like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I guess what the writers were trying to get through is that, like, there are the normal points, and there are points that really need to be known, so they just kept saying them in an effort to pound it into your head. Like, after a few chapters, like, I get it. Service flow economy. Yeah. But, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Alright, you guys, so what are your recommendations? Do you recommend this book for people to read?
I recommend this book for anybody to read because it doesn't pertain to a particular group. It's just a book for everyone to read, so everyone could be informed on what's out there. So you can't say, I didn't know it could be more sustainable. I didn't know I could buy this and it saved me money. Or I could do this and it saved me money and saved the earth. So I think this book is a good read for anyone who really just wants to know what's out there and what possibilities there are to improve our overall living situation.
Awesome.
Yeah, I agree. It has changed the way I think, definitely. It was very informative. It, for the most part, was relatively interesting as well. It's hard to do with something as chock full with data as this is. So I thought it was interesting. It very much relates to pretty much everything because we all live in this world together. It definitely is something that everyone should read.
I would also recommend this book for people to read. As Chantel said, it's not for a specific group, it's for everyone to read. I think it has really good ideas that people could think of, especially entrepreneurs or people who are thinking of making business. They should read this book. As I said, I think my only problem was with the length, but other than that, I think this book should be read by a lot of people. So thank you all. Thanks for the audience. Thank you for tuning to Nerd Talk. Thanks a lot.